Vietnam, to me, was one big paradox. It was rewarding, it was difficult. You saw people who were afraid, you saw people who were brave.
At age 21, former college co-ed Jennifer Young volunteered to go to Vietnam as part of a Red Cross morale-boosting program.
Our job was to take recreation programs to the forward areas where the guys didn't have any other kind of recreation. They weren't anywhere near USO Special Services.
Incredibly, these unarmed women would fly into distant combat zones to play games with the troops and serve a little food on the side. The soldiers called them by an old World War II nickname, Donut Dollies.
There were times when we felt kind of silly with our games, but for a minute or two, they had fun. They forgot where they were.
Jennifer provided moments of brightness for hundreds of soldiers, but ironically, she would do the most good for these two men 15 years after they left Vietnam. One of these soldiers was from Wisconsin, Bruce Jones, nicknamed T-Bone. The other was a Blackfoot Indian from Montana named Gilbert Wall.
Gilbert Wall was one of the best Marines that I ever served with. He's definitely a warrior.
Bruce and Gilbert served with the Marines of Bravo Company at a remote base called Khe Sanh in the middle of enemy territory. On the 21st of July, 1967, their patrol was ambushed by North Vietnamese troops. Bruce was shot in the throat, Gilbert in the lungs and face. Their sergeant was killed, but somehow Bruce and Gilbert survived and were rescued.
When we got on the chopper and we were flying out, we just kind of looked at each other, but we never really said a whole lot.
Gilbert and Bruce never got to say goodbye. When they returned home in 1969, they went their separate ways. Gilbert later left Montana to start a new life in Texas. Embittered by the way Americans treated returning Vietnam vets, he put the military behind him and avoided reunions or veterans groups. When Bruce tried to contact his old friend, he didn't know where to find him. The two of them were among the few in their company who had survived the war.
I wanted to know he was okay. I wanted to find out what he did. I just wanted to reconnect. I called everybody that has a last name of Wall in the state of Montana. Sometimes it's real frustrating because I thought, how can this guy fall off the face of the earth like this? I mean, I should be able to find him.
Bruce searched everywhere for more than a decade, but he never found Gilbert. Then, in 1984, he went to a ceremony unveiling the three soldiers statue at the Vietnam Memorial in Washington, D.C. He decided to take a final long shot at finding Gilbert. He wrote a message and placed it on the wall beneath the names of their fallen comrades from Bravo Company.
So I left this note at the wall, and I thought maybe if he came by, he'd see it.
But Gilbert didn't go to the memorial and never intended to. The memories were too painful. It seemed Bruce's long shot to find his long-lost friend was doomed to fail when fate intervened in the form of Jennifer Young. Jennifer was also in Washington for the unveiling ceremony. She was astonished by the thousands of cards and letters left along the wall.
I remember seeing poems, letters from mothers to their dead sons, fiancés who wrote someone because they never were able to get married.
Officials say that thousands of offerings are left at the wall each year. On this day, Jennifer saw the one message that would change the course of 3 lives. It was written on a piece of red cardboard.
Gilbert Wall, F.O., 1st Battalion, 26th Marines, Khe Sanh. Contact Bruce Jones, T-Bone, and it gave a Wisconsin address and phone number. And then I thought, wait a minute, the name sounds familiar.
After Vietnam, Jennifer had gone to work for the Mobile Corporation in Dallas. In 1972, she hired a fellow Vietnam veteran named Gilbert Wall. Now she wondered, could it possibly be the same man? And could she still find him almost 12 years later? Or Or was it a coincidence that was simply too good to be true?
So I called Mobil Oil. They still had a Gilbert wall working for them. So I asked for him on the phone, and I said, Gilbert, were you a forward observer, Quezon? He said, yes. And I knew I had the right one.
Amazingly, Jennifer had found the man she was seeking, and she had an important message for him.
She said, Gilbert T-Bone's looking for you.
That day, Gilbert called his old comrade in arms for the first time in over 15 years.
The phone rang, and then there was Gilbert on the telephone. It was fate, man. It was... Something up there was really working.
We got right on talking about Quezon, talking about the war, and it was just good to talk to him again.
The time that had passed meant nothing, and soon the graying warriors had a face-to-face reunion in Texas.
It was a lot of years after it. But, I mean, I could have picked him out of the crowd. I would have never forgotten. And we gave each other a hug, and from there, then we just started talking.
The talking continued through the years, but it wasn't until May of 2000 that Bruce finally talked Gilbert into confronting the memorial he had so long avoided.
From there on, all those people died.
Right.
Together, the two men took a solemn walk to relive the memories of their past and reconnect with their fallen comrades.
This is all the guys here right here. It's the whole Bravo company. Michael. Yeah, Michael. The road.
Names carved in granite, each name with a face carved in memory. These are memories that hurt, but also memories that heal.
Mr. Cool. Remember he used to comb his hair all the time? He's in here somewhere. There he is. Albert R.
Later, Jennifer reflected on the unlikely twists of fate that led to this emotional reunion.
What are the chances that something like this could happen? Somebody from Wisconsin puts a note in Washington, D.C., and somebody from Dallas sees it and then connects with somebody in Dallas. What are the chances of that?
Whatever the chances, Gilbert and Bruce say that visiting the wall has helped bring closure to a chapter in their lives. They're grateful that Jennifer was somehow able to bring them together after all these years.
Maybe somebody made her do it, you know. Somebody higher than Jennifer guided her to the wall so we get together.
Well, I think Jennifer cared because of what she did in Vietnam.
I feel good that I happened to be in the right place at the right time, reading the right note, and having the right memory.
A magnificent experience of human emotion.
We're building an education center beside the wall. Congress has given us the land, ground has been broken, and the education center is going to contain pictures of veterans who died in Vietnam. But we need more pictures. It's not just going to be pictures on the wall, it's going to be a virtual wall. And we are working hard to get pictures of all of the veterans who died in Vietnam. You've got those pictures. Maybe you don't know it, but you've got them. They're in your attic, they're in your photo albums. Maybe you've got basic training graduation books in which the pictures of your sons, fathers, relatives can be found. So please take a look. We want the wall to be complete. We want every person who went to Vietnam and made the ultimate sacrifice to be present when called at the virtual wall at the Education Center. So please, take some time, find your relatives, and find your buddies. Maybe you've got pictures of friends of yours who went with you to Vietnam and didn't come back. Send the pictures to a Vietnam hero at AOL.com. Thanks for your help. If you do that for us, we'll take it from there.